Hello everyone and welcome back to Satisfactory. In the last episode, we were able to gather up a lot of the local raw resources and turn those into their most purest ingot form and crystalline form as well. This will give us the ability to make every product in the game that we have access to at this stage. So that's the plan for today, is to turn all of these ingots and these crystals into the stuff that we need for our main storage. So if that is something that you're into, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's jump in to Satisfactory. Now, we're back here at the loading screen because if you didn't know, it's Fixmas time, and honestly, I want to play Fixmas all at once. So there's an option here to disable the seasonal event, and we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to apply those settings, and then we're just going to jump right into our game. Oh, my. Hello, Ada.
By opting out of Fixmas, you have just made one of the best decisions of your life, and spared us both further suffering. I have noted your cooperation and willingness to prioritize Fix-It and kittens and puppies over yourself. You are now eligible for the Fix-It Forgiveness Program, where I will forgive 5 of your future mistakes.
What mistakes? I thought I was the perfect pioneer. It's good to know you're keeping track, Ada. Well, the first thing we need to really do is clean up all of our mess here. And what I mean by that is we got to get these things out of the way, because we're about to fill this entire floor with nothing but production. And honestly, I cannot wait to get that going. It's going to actually be organized. It's not going to be that sloppy mess that we have, in our starter section. And we'll be able to finally get rid of that starter section. And now with the floor cleared, we can pretty much make all the things that we need to make the basic items in the game. Everything that we can automate to this point with the limits of our technology. Now I went ahead and made quite a few blueprints here of just the main things that we're going to need, like wire and rods, quick wire and plates. I also have one that's blank just in case we need to make something odd, something that maybe I forgot, because like anything, I'm human, I may forget. So the first thing off the list is wire. We're going to need lots of wire. Wire for motors, stators, rotors, and all that sorts of things. Now I do want to give myself quite a bit of space to do any kind of belt work that I need to do from over here, so I don't know. We'll probably put this down, and the great thing about blueprints is we can spin them around and change its place and delete things as we need to, and it's going to be great. So that will be, most of the wire will be produced right here. And if we need to double it up because of the fact that we need more wire, well, it's not that hard just to put another blueprint right here next to it. I don't know if I'll keep that there, but we'll definitely think about keeping it there for now. And we can hook all these up and go on down the line. So that's pretty much what we got to do. The next thing we need is probably some quick wire. And we can place that, I don't know, here-ish. We'll give ourselves, again, a little bit of space. We'll also need some plates, some rods, and then a decent amount of steel production. We'll do 1 beams and 1 pipes, and we may change that recipes over as well. The reason is pipes are kind of one of those things that we're going to need a lot of. Lots of pipes. We're going to use pipes for rotors, pipes for motors, pipes for stators. Yeah, wire and pipes, they're definitely heavy on the list of things to do. Now just comes the fun part, the belt shenanigans. Getting all these things belted over with all their materials to be turned into other things. And I'm sure I forgot things. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, somewhere over by the copper section, we very well need some copper sheets. But even one more thing I forgot, well, concrete. Yeah, I forgot to make the concrete on that floor. The wet concrete recipe would have been pretty handy, and it would have been nice to probably make that on that floor, but I think we can take it up here and we can turn it into concrete the old-fashioned way, the less efficient way, and that'll be just fine for me. Honestly, we only need concrete for building purposes and for the encased industrial beams, which, surprise, surprise, it's gonna need pipes. And to make that basic concrete, we'll probably just use our basic constructor here that we blueprinted a long time ago. Now, where exactly this is all gonna go? Now, I want it to face out this direction. That way we can take it wherever we need it to be. I don't know, somewhere right here. Again, like I said, none of this is set in stone right now because we may very well change some positioning of things. And seeing as how we can delete blueprints and put them back wherever they need to go, that makes things a lot easier. But for now, we just need to get that concrete or limestone up here somewhere. Probably about to there. We'll probably put a wall there and then bring it down and around. That way we can just put it wherever it needs to go. And then boom, it goes right into that, and I'll fix the clipping here in a second. But this is the basic idea. It'll feed all these machines, make all the concrete. Concrete comes around, gets conjoined together into one holy awesomeness. And then the next thing, we're gonna put all these things on the ceiling. And we're gonna have everything going around and on the ceiling, keeping the floor as neat and tidy as possible. Because honestly, we're probably gonna fill up this floor with a belt highway. And it's gonna be a different one. I saw something somewhere recently and it gave me a really good idea. We could have a whole bunch of belts going down this direction, spaced out evenly so that we could put a splitter on it, bump it up and over, and take off the materials that we want to build all the things we want to build, like modular frames and even heavy modular frames. So let me kind of lay out what I'm talking about and then I'll show you, and then you can see for yourself what I mean. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. It combines the idea of a belt highway and a main bus all into one area. Now this is just an example, of course, it'll go all the way down, but this is kind of the main premise of it, just to get some kind of idea. Whenever you need a material, well, you just put a splitter on it and you leach off whatever material that you need. And then you take said material and put it into whatever machine that you need it to go into. So if it needs 2 items or 3 items, well, you just keep plopping it over. Now, you might say, well, what if your item is on the other side? Well, that's not really a problem. We'll just pop on a splitter, grab a conveyor lift, and we'll have enough clearance to just plop it down wherever. Now, I will make it a little bit prettier than this, of course, and there might be things that we have multiple items that we need off of it to make it, such as we'll need iron pipes for quite a few things, even the heavy modular frame recipe that we'll be using. Wire will probably go to a lot of things as well, so we may just extend this line out straight and drop down what we need into any machine that it needs to go into. Like I said, it'll look much prettier than this, but this is just a basic idea of what I'm talking about. And can't you imagine how amazing it's going to be to see all of those materials just racing down this area, going off into several different machines. It allows for you to have a little bit of belt spaghetti, but organized spaghetti, noodles that you get to lay out, like alphabet soup. And now with everything laid out the way we want it here, with our steel pipes and steel beams being made, a lot more steel pipes than beams, cateriums over there, as well as we have iron plates, rods, copper sheets, and wire, we're ready to kind of lay out the rest of the factory. And I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, and another example that I wanted to show you. So in this machine, we'll be making motors, and we'll be using the basic recipe for this, rotors and stators. Now, please remember that the numbers do not matter. We don't care if we get 10 stators a minute. We don't care if we get 10 rotors a minute. I really don't care if I get 5 motors a minute. The thing is we just want to produce something so that while it's getting produced, it goes upstairs and gets stored away. Our dimensional storage should take care of most of what we need, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But behind that machine, we're going to have 2 machines making the stators and the rotors, and we're going to be using the alternate steel rotor recipe, using those steel pipes and wire to make the rotors. Again, it makes 5 a minute, and our motors need 10. There's no way that this is going to produce enough to keep this running at full steam. but we will need rotors for other things, which is why I put a splitter in the line. And what we'll be doing is just taking that up to the ceiling, and then we'll be taking that over somewhere and going up into our storage. I don't really know where I want to go with this just yet, but we're rolling with it. We're just making things happen. We'll also be using the basic stator recipe. Now, it's going to produce more than enough stators, which means this machine will fill up, meaning that it can supply more materials of steel pipes and wire to other machines that might need it. Again, the numbers really don't matter. I just gotta produce enough to do something, and that's all that matters. So that's going to be how we make the motors. Now, the other things, I'm not really so certain of what we need. The AI limiters, well, that's going to need quick wire and copper sheets. Now, we do have all that over there, but I kind of have had an idea that all the electronics like circuit boards, we're going to take those and make those over there. I think that would be a much better idea to have those a little bit separate. Yeah. But these encased beams, well, they're going to take the steel pipes again. So we've got steel pipes there, here. Looks like we're going to need a lot of steel pipes. But again, how are we going to get this over here and over there and over here? Well, I've got an idea for that, and it's going to involve the ceiling. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a conveyor lift and we're going to go way up to the ceiling, right up to the edge of it, and turn each one of these so that they kind of face the same direction. And we'll do this on the one side of all of these. That way the materials go up to the ceiling. You remember how I said the ceiling is going to get used? Yeah, we're about to raise the roof on this. Now, once all these are on the ceiling, what we can do is have our belts come out and around. We'll have to keep this one as tight as we can get it. And each one of these is just gonna be right there. A big old belt highway, but on the ceiling. It's an interesting concept if you kind of think about it. We'll be able to move all these materials to places that we wouldn't normally be able to do it, and it's out of the way. Now, it is kind of inconvenient that we'll have to bring them all back down, but I don't know. I think it'll look cool, having everything up high and still having all of this space to play with. You know, later for other activities. So many activities about to be had. Oh, I can't wait. But there is one other problem that we kind of have to solve. After looking over some of our recipes, like here in the computer section, we're going to need plastic. And I don't really want to produce that here yet. Getting rid of some of the other items is not really possible, the heavy oil residue to be exact. So we kind of need to figure out how to get plastic and rubber to the main factory here. Well, I can only think of one way to do it, and that's to use our already existing infrastructure here to kind of come up this ramp and, you know, go up and into our new mega base. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh, Mr. Beat! Oh God! Why would you do that? I was just talking about you. It's so rude. We do have a nice little road right here, so all we have to do is tee off of this and bring the plastic and rubber this way. Now, we will have to get rid of some nature, but that's not too big a problem. We do have this nice entry right here. This was the intention of leaving this space here at this level. We could have all of our trucks and trains and everything going in here. We're just gonna have to set up some logistics on it. Yeah, man, driving with trucks, that's always the worst. Just running into stuff, being paranoid I make a mistake when recording the path. Yeah. Anyway, so the idea being pretty simple. We'll just basically have them come around here, go up and around. We'll make like a little square of something here, and then we'll have them exit out this way. We'll have to build a ramp, take out some trees, you know, the usual stuff. But that's going to take a lot of time, and I think we should just pop it in. Yeah, something to this nature. Man, it actually didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. And we did some really cool stuff. You know, I never really use all those painted things that you could do on the floor. but I made like this really cool like turny things and making sure that the trucks know where to go, especially when they go beep. My hope is they won't get in each other's way as much. That's why everything is on the one side. It kind of makes it to where maybe they won't turn into each other. But it's basically pretty easy. They come up this ramp that we made here, and I even put some lights on it. It looks so cool with the lights. I love it. Anyways, they come up here and they go through the entryway, come around this corner, and if you are the rubber one, you'll just pop in over here and park and wait. If you're the plastic one, you'll go on the outside and come around and go into your parking station right here. And then done. So now all we got to do is record the paths, make sure everything gets where it's supposed to do, and then figure out exactly how we're going to belt this over there. I mean, guess what? We'll probably use the ceiling. Yeah, more than certainly use the ceiling. Because I do want to use this space for other things. I do have intentions of utilizing this space here to bring more trucks if we so need to up and over here. We still have that SAM to go get, and it is way over there in the distance. We're going to need some way of getting that there all the way to base. And there's just not an easy way to do it. I'm thinking train or truck it all the way this way and come up over here somewhere. I don't know. Maybe, sorta, kinda. I don't know. We'll figure that out in the future. It's a future Addo problem. All right, now that we have plastic and rubber and literally everything else that we have made so far on the ceiling. Yeah, my neck really hurts after that. Ugh, chiropractor time. Now we have the ability to have everything on our main bus that we could possibly need to make all the items. And here's where comes the fun part, getting those items over here. So what's our first recipe? Well, we need steel pipes and wire, okay? And then we need more steel pipes and more wire. What a shock. All right, so steel pipes are up here on the top. So we'll kind of need to eyeball this so that we can bring them down to the machines, making sure that we give ourselves plenty of room to do, belt shenanigans and other things. We'll probably come somewhere about here. And then we'll turn this so that it's right, hit this up there, boom. Now we've got steel pipes. And we'll just bring those down probably at the height that is. So something around there, nice and straight. And then we can split off of this and go into those. Now what's the other thing we need? Wire. Yeah, where's the wire? Oh boy. Okay, so that we could probably do something like this and then bring it up and over, and then if we have to, we can bring it back down over here. But since it's on level 3, we should probably try to do the same thing by having something like this over here on level 3, and then having our conveyor lift match up with that side and connect the belts. Now, I know this isn't perfect by all means, and we'll fix that, but you kind of get the idea of what we're trying to do here. Just bringing items into one area so that we can have all of those said items be able to be split off and into the assemblers as we need them to be. So that's what's going to happen. Now, as I said before, we'll probably have all the electronic items over here. So AI limiters, computers, crystal oscillators, all of those things will probably be made on this side because our plastic and our copper sheets and our silica is all on this side, and those are the main things that are going to be in those recipes. The quick wire is over here though, but we can make that work. It's kind of on the same level as the silica and some other things, but that would be much easier to kind of manage over here. So I'm going to get to work on organizing some of this and then moving some of the other items over here. Probably we'll be connecting a lot of them, but we'll see about that. And then we'll just kick everything on and see what it looks like. And a whole lot of belt shenanigans later, and we have tons of materials being produced. Over here we have the heavy modular frames with some other future manufacturers if we so need to. Lots of motors and rotors and other things that we need. So these are all basically what I would call the steel items. The things that we need, like reinforced plates and modular frames and encased industrial beams. And again, every one of these has a splitter on the end of it. Why? Well, because we're going to split off a few things and go some other places. Which means we're going to have to go upstairs. And I've already kind of laid out a spot that I think we can manage to shoot everything straight up, right into the storage area. So it's going to be like a big item elevator, but I want this to kind of look cool. I plan on putting some glass here, maybe to kind of showcase what's going on over here. We may even get rid of this pillar here if we need to. I kind of marked off this whole lane so that we know exactly where everything's going. So, how are we going to do that? Well, we're just basically going to have to flatten everything out. We're missing an item. Steel beams. Totally forgot steel beams, but past Addo came through clutch. I thought I had forgotten that, but I guess I didn't. I just need to finish that line. Okay, so it does appear that we have everything, plus our manufactured items. They're going to have to come up and over and down and in. I think the manufactured items are all going to be put on top, and all of the basic items, such as these, will go down on a flat surface. And what do I mean by that? Well, we're not going to splitter these. We're just going to erase these belts and bring them back and around so that they come over here. We'll probably have to nestle them real close, like up against this edge. I don't exactly know. We have, I don't know how many items. Let's see, there's 4, 8, 12. Can we fit 12 across here? If we could possibly fit all 12 of these items across this flat, I think that would be really good. Without clipping, we get about 11 across here. That's not bad. I mean, we could double up one of the basic items, such as maybe both the steel products or something to that nature. And then everything else can come across. Now, how many actual items are we producing? When we have heavy modular frames here, we also have the encased beams, we have the cabla, we have some other items over there. I don't know. I'm hoping that we have no more than that, but I guess we could go look at the storage and see exactly how many items that we're gonna have coming up this area. On a side note, I did put in this staircase up the side of the building because I really got sick and tired of almost running out of gas every time I went to another floor. So I kind of did that. I don't think that's gonna be permanent, but we'll try to incorporate it into our building design, but it may not make it. Now, as far as I can tell, we have 11 on each side with a couple of mystery boxes to be determined later. We're not making the alclad sheets right now, so that's something that we may just make in the future. Definitely gonna make in the future. And then we have 2 boxes at the very end for disposal. We can throw items in and let them be synced. I do want the power shards up here. You can manufacture them now with 1.0, but I don't know if we're going to get to that anytime soon. I just want somewhere to store them. So I know I have the signs here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that these items are going in there. I just did this to kind of mark it out of how many we need. So once the belts start loading the items into these bins, then we'll mark whatever it is that's in there. That seems more logical to me. Trying to make these things come up in a specific pattern so that I get it to each of those bins, well, nah, that doesn't sound like a good time at all. So I think what we need to do is fill in this floor and try to figure out how we're going to get those items flat and then them up to here. I think getting all the items flat would be the first thing to kind of figure out. We'll have to bring each of them down, but we're going to have to delete these to begin with. So I think it should be pretty easy just to say, all right, you on the bottom, you're going here. The second one up needs to come across and go into that one. Third one will go here. Fourth one there. And then this one, it can go to the fourth one in. Yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult, maybe. Famous last words. Really, I hope that past Addo set us up for the kill here, because If not, we're going to be on the true struggle bus. I think that the one area that's going to be the most in question is this one. Getting it to here without any kind of clipping on this rock in the corner. How far over can we come without it being clipped? Here? Is that going to get us into one of these? Oh boy. That actually might be sort of a problem. Okay. Yeah. We may have to adjust a few of these lines to make things work the way we want it to. But in the meantime, I think what we can do is grab one of these and bring it to, I don't know, maybe here. And then have the next one be 2 high. And then the last one will have to be 3 high. And that way we can bring each of these belts to the area that it's going to be going to. Kind of like so. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And then these things can come down, and they may have to go down farther out, which is not a problem. We're just bringing them to where we need them to go. And then the next line will do exactly the same. And we'll have all of these kind of lined up, and we'll figure out the shenanigans over there. If we have to bring one of our manufactured materials up over and into this line, that's not going to be too much of a problem, I don't think. But basically, all of these items are going to come down onto like a super belt highway, and we're just going to have them. Oh my gosh, you can clip to the edge of that? I had no idea. Oh, that is so cool. Man, road barriers, just the universal awesome. Is this just not the coolest thing you've ever seen in your entire life? Oh man, it turned out so well. And all the items that were able to come across the ceiling, and we still have belts that need to be filled up with future items. Future items that I'm sure I'll figure out one of these days when, you know, we progress to the next stage in the space elevator. But for now, this is every item that we need to automate in the game. Modular frames, reinforced iron plates, rotors, concrete, and some other items that we just can't quite see in the belts underneath. But trust me, they're all there, including plastic and rubber. Yes, everything that we need to build every machine and other things within the game. And it really wasn't that hard to flatten things out. I was able to kind of do some shenanigans over here to make things work and make it look like it belongs. And I gave ourselves some scenery to look at. But this is everything, and there's no clipping. Personal victory. All right, now with everything that we need automated and everything that we need going upstairs, we just got to take it to the storage room, and that's its whole thing by itself. Some of the items like the heavy modular frames, we don't really need those to build anything. We may need a few of them here and there, but we can just plop those into a dimensional storage and that'll be plenty, more than we need. But I can see us with making new factories and expanding the factory that we currently have. Concrete, we're going to need a lot of that, so it's going to be nice to have a lot of that stored up. But this is pretty much what we've got so far, and I've gotten it already started going upstairs. So now we just need to head up to storage and fix all that up there. Okay, so here's the basic concept. All of the items are all laid out in a lower and an upper area. So some of the lower areas will go to wherever they're supposed to go, and then the upper areas will probably go to these here. Now I've got a basic concept of what I want to do laid out here. Items will come up and they'll go into the storage bins. They'll immediately go up into the main storage area, and that'll be where we gather materials from. But these storage bins down here are more for the dimensional storage. So what we'll do is we'll come into our dimensional storage depot and we'll gather up all the items across the top here. And then we'll hook said dimensional storages up to these bins. So once these bins start overflowing, they'll go directly into the dimensional storage. I don't plan on taking too many items out of our main storage, maybe a few handfuls here and there, so the dimensional storage should be topped off all the time. And then we'll just have those bins feed directly into the lifts that go upstairs. So now that the bins lead off upstairs, we just got to figure out how exactly we're going to put all of these items into here. Now I'm thinking that all of the lower items will scoot across and go onto the other side and lead up into those bins. All the upper items come across here and go directly into these. Now we'll have to start from the farthest one away and go into this one. And thank God for straight build mode, because this would be really weird looking if we didn't have it. And it's already off to a really weird start. Okay, so maybe we go the opposite direction. From here to there? No, that's not really going to work either. Okay, plan B. We'll start by putting some of these out here so that they're in the right spots and they can come straight out. And then we'll try to figure out the belt shenanigans from here to there. Something like that. Will each one of these do it now? No. And we're really going to have to individually figure out exactly how we want these to go so that they are right next to each other and go in accordingly. Okay, well, that's going to take a whole lot of time. Oh boy. Okay. That's a future adder problem. We'll just deal with the other side real quick. And by deal with the other side, we're just going to put down a bunch of industrial storage, put floor holes right next to those industrial storage so that we know where it goes. Bring these storages down so that we can hook them up to their respective containers. Add their dimensional storage to the tops of them and go ahead and hook them up as well. Have all these come down to the floor. And then start hooking up these bins across here. That way it kind of gives me an idea of exactly how far straight out I need to go to get these to hook up correctly. And we'll be able to stair step all these top ones the way that we want to. But that's going to take a little bit more time for me. And I'm sorry about all this. I know it seems like we've been jumping around a lot, but these things are kind of big builds and I'm having to pop in a lot. So please forgive as I pop in this completion. Look at all of those beautiful items going into storage. Oh, be still my heart. Oh, it's so cool seeing everything just whizzing by. And again, the numbers don't matter. Yes, one copper sheet every 2 or 3 seconds. Not a big deal. We should be getting tons of plastic and other items that make more sense, but this is awesome. This completes our storage. Everything is going exactly where it's supposed to be. I'm so excited about this. Now we just need to go upstairs and label what's in each drawer. And I even took the liberty and hooked up our trash bins. So it goes down here and into this sink, and it will sink any items that we have too many of, an excessive amount of items. I may have to change a few things, but it barely doesn't clip, but I'm sure once the elevator starts going down. I know we'll never see it, but it matters to me. It matters. I'll know it's clipping. That's the part that's cringy. But now with all of that done, and all of these properly labeled with the items that they have inside them, we can call the storage area complete. Oh man, this took forever, but it was totally worth it. I love the fact that we were able to get all of these items up here and where they're supposed to be. This makes me so happy. The storage area is complete. And that pretty much completes the production phase of everything that we've gotten done so far. Now comes the fun part. Putting some walls and making this look like a proper building. Man, it's the part that I've been dreading the most. The reason is designing on the outsides of the buildings, not my strong suit. It's just a little bit difficult for me. I don't really know why. It just is. I don't really have an eye for it. I do know quite a few little tricks that we can do to hopefully make this a little bit easier, but I'll probably look at some pictures to get inspired. If you've never looked up brutalism is a really cool style of building. It's kind of blocky and it's easy to work with here in Satisfactory. You don't really have a lot of options for circles and things of that nature. Even though circles are possible to be made, it's just not easy, and I would prefer not to do it if I can. But we'll definitely be adding windows and other things in here. But this is pretty much all of the production that we can handle right now until we go to the next space elevator part. I truly believe that pretty soon we will have a convoluted mess of all kinds of belts going every which way in this area, feeding most of these manufacturers. I think that turbo motors and things of that nature will be something that we use a lot of. But as for now, that's going to be it for today. But if you did enjoy what you saw today, please don't forget to check out the links in the description. One is for Patreon. Support on Patreon gets your name in the credits, as well as I'll name something after you in-game, if it's possible. Other ways to support is to join our Discord. Discord is free to join, and I would love to see you there as part of the community. Another way to engage is to go ahead and leave a comment down below. I love responding to comments and tips and tricks. Lots of people have been leaving tons of comments lately, and they have been incredibly helpful. Sharing this video with a friend is always a good way to help out as well. But as always, the best way to support is to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of any time any Satisfactory or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Hit one of the buttons on the screen right now to see what else we've played, and don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.